Good evening and a warm welcome to all the parents and guests present here for this very special session of Mitra for Life's Thursday Tea Time Chats. Before we begin, a few words about the work we do at Mitra for Life. We are a community working towards empowering children and young adults with special needs to be independent and help them integrate better in a social setup. We have online parent forums, panel discussions, we curate new experiences, have festival celebrations, and more. We would like to now present another short video about Mitra for Life and our activities.
Mitra for Life is a non-profit organization working to create social change for children and youngsters with autism and special needs. We are a real-world social network bringing together the community. We create opportunities for youth to build friendships and have new fun experiences. Parent support and awareness programs are also our focus. We curate fun weekend outings in a group and new experiences like a trek and day trips. The Youth Club is a fun online socials for youngsters. #Unlabel, our flagship project, showcases the amazing talents of youngsters with autism and special needs. We bring together like-minded parents to build a strong parent network, creating bonding with fun celebrations and social events. All our programs now run online, engaging and empowering youngsters to connect and socialize. We have impacted over 950 families from 15 cities across India, and over 200 youth volunteers have been a part of the change. There is no limit to what we can accomplish together. Mitra for Life, a friend for life. To support us, go to mitraforlife.org.
So please do join our community by looking us up on mitraforlife.org for more details. It is now my pleasure to introduce this evening's special guest, Deepti Koduru, a very creative and passionate mother of 7-year-old Ritvik, who is on the spectrum. Deepti has an educational background of MTech in computer science and an MBA. She is also RBT certified and is currently pursuing B.Ed. She has worked as a lecturer in computer science and more recently as a behavioral therapist. Deepti is an avid reader and is very proud of the digital library that she has collected with over 1,000 books. She has inculcated the reading habit in her son Ritvik as well and will be sharing more details about her library with us. She is not just a reader but also a writer. She has written many articles in her mother tongue Telugu about enriching spiritual and moral values, which have been published in Sujana Ranjani online magazine website organized by the Silicon Andhra Organization, USA. She has also translated several of the very popular Pratham story books into Telugu. She actively writes a blog called Raising Ritvik, where she shares her creative parenting experiences. In her presentation today, Deepti will be sharing about how she supported Ritvik academically throughout the COVID months and the various creative approaches she adopted. A very warm welcome to you, Deepti, and we look forward to hearing about your journey. Over to you now.
Thank you, Samit. I hope it is clearly audible to everyone, right? Okay, thank you. Very good evening, all of you. First of all, I need to thank Samyukta for taking this initiation and inviting me over to these tea time chats. I have already watched a few videos of these tea time chats, the previous things which were uploaded in YouTube. I felt a lot inspired and motivated with these videos. Today, I'm really happy to be a part of these sessions. And so, actually, when Samyukta contacted me about this, I felt a bit nervous, even I feel so now. And I said that this is a very small journey and there might not be much to share. But she convinced me saying that a very small thing
I'm
will
sorry,
also
Deepti. Sorry to interrupt you. Something wrong with your audio, some crackling. Is it possible to maybe use a headphone, or actually it was clearer when we were talking earlier? If it's possible, you can just take a minute, maybe if you can use a headphone or something.
No, we can't hear you now. And she's just reconnecting.
Sorry about this. We'll just give her a minute to reconnect. Samyukta, you just want to talk about the weekend event while we're waiting?
Sure. So we have the youth club and the dads club, as you saw in the video, as part of our new initiatives. So this weekend at the youth club that meets on every Saturday, we have the Mitra Chef Hat session for youngsters, where Varun, one of our youngsters, will lead the group in a sandwich making session. So that's lined up for this coming Saturday. So we encourage you to please look up the youth club on our website. And if you have or know any children or youngsters in the teenage age group of 16 and 30, we encourage you to join the youth club and enjoy these events.
Yeah, I think she's rejoined. Just, let's just give her a minute.
You're on mute, Deepti.
No, Deepti, we're not able to hear you.
still the same problem.
Yes, yes,
yes,
now we can hear you.
we can hear you now. Can you just say something? We'll try.
I'm trying to use a different audio system. Is it okay now?
No, it's still not very clear.
Let me try with the earphones.
Yeah, there's still some crackling and
Hello. Hello.
yes,
Yes,
Deepti.
Deepti, that's much better.
Yeah,
That's
we
much
can
better.
hear you
can
now.
turn your video on.
Is this better now?
Yes, much better.
Can
Yes,
we
much
start?
better. Yes, yes,
Yes,
please go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm very sorry about this. Might be this internet connections are not very good at my place. So I'll start over, right? Yeah. Very good evening, all of you. First of all, thank you, Samyukta, for initiating this and inviting me over to these tea time chats. Actually, I have watched a few videos which were uploaded in YouTube, and I was very inspired and motivated with most of them. And today I'm really happy to be a part of it. Actually, when Samyukta called me about this, I was a bit nervous, and I said that there might not be much to share because this is a very small journey. But somehow she convinced me, saying that there are many valuable things everyone will have in their life and which we can share, and someone or other will find it useful. So I happily and readily accepted her invitation. And now let us quickly get to our point of discussion, because already some time has been wasted with my internet settings. And I have actually prepared a PowerPoint presentation for the convenience of clarity. And as I scroll down the slides, we can have the points of discussion. So please allow me to share the presentation now. Yeah, hope the presentation is visible to everyone. So this is what I have prepared to share with all of you guys today. And I have named my presentation Creative Parenting. Actually, I named it as homeschooling in the beginning. But later, as I have been pondering over the thoughts and the various approaches and the various things which I wanted to share with all of you, I felt more of parenting in a creative way rather than mere schooling or the academic aspects or something like that. So I quickly changed the name to Creative Parenting. So let us scroll down. So as already Samyukta introduced about me, I'll quickly slide off with this. Myself, I am Deepthi Koduru and I have a few degrees. And I'm currently pursuing a bachelor's in education. And my favorite things are reading books, mostly spiritual and personality oriented books. And also, yeah, I like to pen down most of my thoughts. And translating, yes, it is an area of interest for me. I love doing it. And about Ritvik, as you can see, he completed 6 years. He is very creative and imaginative boy, and he's truly logical and reasonable in nature. As you go on talking with him, you will have to find out logics and reasons for doing any particular thing. And the whole discussion will be around this, so I'm not telling much here. And so I'll quickly tell you from the macro level about this presentation, and we will narrow down to the micro level aspects going forward. So first of all, I will be concentrating on three things in today's discussion. Mainly why I started this homeschooling idea, and what flexibilities or what relaxations or what privileges I found, and how, this is the major aspect today, how we did it, how we achieved it. So let us start with the why thing first. So this is the scenario before deciding to homeschool. So what happened before we started homeschooling? There is a brief history about it. At the age of 3 years, we identified or we noticed something peculiar in Ritvik. Some things such as minimum eye contact and minimum response to name calling and aligning and patterns while playing and minimum verbal response. He used to respond, but minimum. So we felt the need to get him diagnosed. And we approached a few doctors and we got him diagnosed, and he's identified to be under spectrum. And by God's grace, we found out a therapy environment. We joined him in Sambhavam Center actually, which was run by Chitra Seshadri. And yes, it is a very happy journey there. The structural assistance and the parental training are the two most important things we received there. Structural assistance in the sense it is 9 to 4 therapy environment, and the different therapies like behavior, occupational, speech, all we found in one place. Of course, Ritvik didn't undergo speech therapy. The ABA, applied behavior analysis, was sufficient for him. And Chitra was very open for parental training and allowing mothers to join as therapists there. She even encouraged me to take up the behavior technician training. She was my supervisor, and I finished the RBT certification part under her supervision. And it was really a pleasant and happy journey there. So we underwent 22 months of therapy. And finally, it was time to say goodbye. And Chitra also proposed homeschooling for Ritvik. And then some more things which forced me to take homeschooling decision. Going forward, I will be showing them. So this is the therapy thing which happened for Ritvik, the early intervention therapy with behavioral and occupational aspects. And yes, we did it for 22 months, and we could achieve the best of the benefits. And we could see the progress very clearly. And yes, why homeschooling? It's not just that Chitra suggested me and I blindly took over it. I had a lot of thinking about homeschooling, why I have to do it. Because the first thing is, this is particularly about Ritvik. I don't think we can generalize these aspects. Mismatch of IQ and EQ. IQ is, as you all know, the intelligence quotient, and EQ is emotional quotient. So the thing with Ritvik is he's a quick grasper actually. He's very fast in learning things, understanding logics, reasoning, and all these things. He's very quick in cognitive skills, thinking skills, everything. But the socialization part, the communication aspect, he's good at communication as well. But mingling with peers or communicating with outsiders in particular, with parents and the closest of his people, he is very good with all those things. So these things scared me a little to send him into an outside environment. So I felt, okay, immediate transition from therapy to a mainstream school might not be a good idea. I felt, okay, let me tackle it for a few months. And then let us see as time goes, what is needed. Going forward, we will decide with thought. And so, and then the next thing which scared me a lot is bullying. Bullying is very common nowadays because it might not be intentional, but it happens. It is not something which we can avoid everywhere. So unless it is a completely controlled environment, we cannot stop such things. It might be for fun or it might be intentional, whatever it is. So bullying is the other thing of my concern. And then triggers for misbehaviors. As I already said, Ritvik is a quick grasper. He learns things very fast and he wants to climb up the ladder very fast. Like if he's done with one concept, he immediately want to see stage 2 in that. So in such conditions, if he sits in a classroom and if the things bore him, so I thought it might be a trigger for new misbehaviors in the classroom. So this is another thing of my concern. So in all these aspects, I decided to homeschool. And before going forward about what we did in our homeschooling journey, I want to give a word of caution. Homeschooling, is it a solution for everyone? Is it the one and only best way of educating our kid? No. It is one of the best ways, I say, because there are many schools, many institutes, many alternative environments, many group environments which provide best education to children. And it may not be feasible for each and every parent to continuously spend their time for homeschooling. It is completely a decision out of passion, interest, time. So many things come into the way. And also the Indian context. In abroad, it is legal and it is quite common. Homeschooling, we see everywhere there. But coming to India, it is an upcoming practice. Not all are aware of it. Not everyone accept it and invite it very naturally. Still, I see most of them, they see it as something which is inevitable for some kids who cannot go to school. So they that inevitable acceptance I see in many of the parents even now. So I don't blame anyone. It's purely lack of awareness. And so in such conditions in India, homeschooling is purely a personal decision. And what are the different reasons why we homeschool? Let me say the first and foremost reason parents adopt homeschooling is they find their kid not suitable for mainstream schools, or put it in another way, mainstream schools doesn't suit their kid. Because I don't want to name anything here. Children are unique in their own way. I don't want to name any kid as special, because special, the term special is being used in a different perspective nowadays. So every kid is unique. They have inherited their own features. They are unique in themselves. So it is not natural that they will fit into one classroom. So parents who understand this psychology in the kids, they may opt for homeschooling. And second thing, it might not be that schools doesn't suit the children or children doesn't suit the schools. Parents might be creative and passionate in parenting their children. So they want a wonderful journey, wonderful parenting with their kids. So they want to try something new. That might be a reason. And the challenges and the various conditions of learning, how they want to make it special for themselves. So they want to see the fun way, they want to see the challenges, they want to take everything by themselves. That might be one reason. And also, yes, it is purely child-centered. So they want to make it special for their child, customize everything for their child and bring it up. These might be different reasons why parents choose homeschooling. And now, can everyone try homeschooling? We can't just tell like that. Nobody can suggest or advise someone else to take up homeschooling, because parents have to think about various circumstances, as I have already told. Time, the patience, the passion, so many things come. So I advise nobody be in a very hasty way to decide about it, because it may backfire someday in near or far future. So they have to face the society, they have to face their children in the future. So many things come in the way. And so every parent must think about their own conditions before choosing homeschooling. This is just a word of caution. And yes, that's what I have mentioned here. So before deciding to opt for homeschooling, let us conduct a proper research. Yes, there are several subforms of homeschooling, like the traditional homeschooling, just like recreating the school environment in the home, or the travel schooling, road schooling, world schooling, which involves much of travel, learning through traveling, or unschooling, or eclectic or thematic homeschooling. These are all the different subtypes. Like you take up some theme and you build up learning around that theme and such things. So there are many privileges and sacrifices in itself. So my advice is purely consider your all personal conditions before you take up the decision. And yes, now what are the flexibilities I had in homeschooling? So all these aspects I'm going to share now onwards are purely customized for Ritvik, because whatever suits his mind, whatever is the most fun way and convenient for him, compatible for him, we have chosen those. And yes, let us continue. What privileges or flexibilities I had in homeschooling? So the three aspects I had are time, space, and subjects. So first thing is flexibility in time. So I don't have any rush behind me. Like I need to complete from June to April, or any academic rush is not there for me. And the timetable. This is very important for kids, because one day they might not be in a mood to take up that subject in the same time every day. So the timetables, flexible in timetables, and the learning speed. So for example, if he's quick in maths, he might complete it in 3 months. If he's a little bit slow in language parts, he might take more time. So we need not wait for the whole academic year to take up the next grade or something like that. And flexibility in space. It is sitting tolerance. Kids might not have continuous sitting tolerance. And mainly kids with who are under spectrum, or who are suffering with ADHD, those kids, the sitting tolerance is a major issue for them. We cannot force them to sit continuously for 45 minutes or half an hour in one class. So this sitting tolerance helped me a lot, because I can give breaks for him depending upon his mood. Sometimes he continuously engages himself for more than 30 minutes, or sometimes he might need a break for every 5 minutes. So that flexibility I can provide him. And no restriction to four walls of the classroom. So we never do our studies in inside the room actually. So little academic part might be we conduct within the room. And most of our learning goes with our daily routines, through traveling, through observing things outside, so many things. And the other thing I observed is we can do one-to-one attention for our kids. So it will be purely customized and it is child specific. And then the flexibilities in subjects. So the choice of subjects. I need not force all the subjects at a time on him. So I can choose the subjects and I can go on with the flow of his mood. And I can mix different grades or different subjects and different publishers or boards. So the choice of curriculum and books and all, it is within my flexibility. So, and writing work. I think most of the parents working with their kids, they know how writing influences the kid. So many parents will be suffering making their kids write. So the best flexibility I have is customized writing work. So wherever and how much is needed, I can incorporate writing work into his curriculum. So that is another flexibility I have observed. So these are the things I experienced these days. And then how we did it. This is the core part of the session. And as I already told you, I have named it homeschooling, but later I changed it to this, because as I started writing these approaches, I changed the name actually. So because little academics are involved and more of engagement, hands-on activities are there, so I better call it creative parenting. And going forward, I will be explaining the different creative approaches I adopted in parenting Ritvik. We actually started this journey in December 2019, and accidentally it coincided with the COVID thing also. Though it is a small period of about 2 years, there are many experiences I treasured while traveling with Ritvik. And yes, we don't have any long-term planning about how much time or how long we are going to do this, or are we going to keep him, like continue with him like this, or are we going to go into any group environment. No, it depends. Whatever is useful and whatever is compatible with Ritvik, we wanted to go with that. And yes, from here onwards, I will be sharing the different creative approaches we have followed. The first thing is completion of the cycle. So this approach is useful for any age level actually. Not only for a small kid or a teenager or an elderly one, anyone can actually adopt this approach and it will be beneficial. So what is it? It is a holistic view of anything. So whenever or wherever you come across a thing, getting a holistic view of that thing. It is called samagram in Sanskrit actually, means a complete view. So if I explain with 2 examples, I think you will get a clear picture of this. So we actually we did a project called Where Do We Live? So in this project, what we did is we started teaching Ritvik where he lives. So it starts with some particular address. So for example, we live in Bangalore or we live in our native place. It starts with that address, and then he maximized or he viewed it in the macro level, like from the house, the street, and then increasing the view to the area or locality, and then increasing the view to the city, and then the state, and then the country, the continent, finally our planet, and then the solar system, and then the Milky Way galaxy. So this is what we did here. In this way, we gave a complete view. So this is the project which we have done.
Are you sharing a video, Deepti?
Sorry.
Are you sharing a video for this?
Is it not audible?
No, we are not able to see anything.
Deepti, you can try stop the screen share.
Oh, the video is not visible?
Yes, we are not able to see the video. You stop the current screen share.
Okay, let me get back.
And then share it again. Yeah.
Yes, I understand. Is it visible now?
Yes, yes, it is.
So this doesn't have any audio, right?
Sorry, Samyukta.
Yeah, did the video have audio? No, right?
Yes, actually.
It did, because we couldn't hear the audio. Can we see
Couldn't
that?
hear anything?
Yeah. Can you put that again? Maybe I think some of us missed.
Yeah, it's actually what I have explained, the same thing Ritvik has explained in his project.
Right, right. Yes.
So it's like from his house to the universe, to maintain a link with that. So in that way, we try to get a completion of the cycle. And let me share another example. Food we eat. So children usually they like food, right? So whenever they eat something, usually we have these dining table talks. So during breakfast time or lunch time, whenever he eats something, I try to connect him to the before and after scenarios. Like where does this food come from? Who are involved in that food production? And how does it come to his plate? And what happens after he eats it? And what happens internally in his digestive system? So we try to connect the dots and get a complete view of whatever work he does, the before and after aspects of anything. So in that way, we try to achieve this completion approach. And yes, it actually worked in Ritvik. Because we observed Ritvik using this approach in several other aspects in his daily life. Like when we were discussing about animals and birds, we had the concept of nocturnal animals. So he studied about them, and immediately he called my father, and he inquired about, okay, the animals of the night are called nocturnal. So what should I call the animals of the day? So he tried to make a completion of the aspect what he is learning. So diurnal. He found out that aspect, found some examples for that, and then he was satisfied. So what I felt is, if we inculcate such approaches in kids, they will use it in other aspects, in other life activities as well. So this is one approach. And yes, second one is chain learning. So usually we start our discussion somewhere at some point of our life, and it actually leads to various other aspects of learning. Like usually when we are traveling, we don't sit quiet. We observe whatever is happening on the way. And one such instance is, we talked about number plates. Whichever vehicle was passing by, we observed the number plates and we tried to figure out the state of that number plate. And with that discussion, he was interested in Indian states. So he wanted to know how many states are there, what is the shape of our country, and so what are the different capitals of those states. And actually he wanted to draw the Indian country map and all those things. And yes, I encouraged him there. And while we are doing that artistic thing of painting Indian states and country, while he was coloring the Sri Lanka, he suddenly remembered Ramayana. And he's like, okay, this is the place where Sita was abducted. And yes, we went back again searching where is Rama born and how he traveled all the way from Uttar Pradesh to Sri Lanka. And it went to a mythological discussion followed by. So in that way, most of the times our learning will be in this chain way. We start at some point and we end up learning so many issues, so many aspects. And yes, one of our dining table talks led him to learn these internal body parts. So we didn't go through any subjects or any textbooks for these. It's just like I was explaining, when he was chewing dosa, I was telling you have to chew properly. When you swallow, it passes all your internal body parts and what the digestive process that happens. And he immediately wanted to know what are the other body parts inside the body. And as you can see in these pictures, this led to this drawing and learning of the different body parts inside the body. So this is one of the other approaches we have been following. And yes, storytelling and book reading. This is the most important thing in our life. Yes, I can say not even a day goes without these two activities in our life. So it has actually offered many benefits for us. Like vocabulary has improved leaps and bounds for Ritvik. He is in a stage to use certain words where I have to Google sometimes. And yes, you can see variety. So you cannot actually go experience everything in real life. So books are a way where you can see variety in life. And it is the best way of engaging kids because they can calm down. They can sit quietly in a place, enjoy the calming time. And also it helped me to get his attention actually. Whenever he is not in a mood to listen to me, my best go-to approach is pick up his favorite storybook. I don't even invite him. I just sit in a corner and I start reading the story aloud. And wherever he is, as he listens to my voice reading the book, he will quietly come and sit next to me and continue with the reading activity. So this is my go-to approach in getting his attention actually. And yes, it is very helpful in improving his creative and imaginative skills because as he keeps reading new books, he tries to use them in his pretend play, in his discussions with us, and so many other aspects in his life. So I have actually written few articles about these book reading activities in my blog as well. And yes, I have a big collection of physical and digital library as well. So I'm very happy to share my digital library with anyone. It almost consists of hundreds or even 1,000 books of different series and publishers. And I have specifically collected all of them so that we can have a good reading time. And yes, every parent can make use of the digital library. And then going forward, the different projects which we have undertaken during this 2 years of our homeschooling journey. I will slowly explain each of these. The vocabulary activities, the different vocabulary activities we do. So yes, this is one type of activity which we do. We have alphabet tiles and we give points to them. And if he makes a 3-letter word or 4-letter word or 5-letter word, depending on that, he will get the points related to the number of alphabets he uses in his words. And yes, this is also the same thing. I tried with wooden alphabet tiles. And yes, this is another type of developing vocabulary in Ritvik. This is like we try to name a food with every alphabet. And yes, here this is a slight variant of word building. Like I will select a word and I will jumble it, and he has to find out the word. And also in the process, we will be making smaller words using those styles as well. So these are the different vocabulary activities we follow for best engaging of our time and also for improving his vocabulary. And library time activities. Yeah, this is another variant of what we do for vocabulary building. Anagrams also. And then making words using the scrambled letters in that circle and making a pattern. And yes, these are the various library time activities. We have library time almost twice or thrice a week. And what we do is we don't just stop with reading a book. We try to do some or other activity from that book, like art or some grammatical work out of that, like finding nouns or adjectives or anything like that, some related work with that book. So here you can see the various library time activities we have done with Ritvik. So most of them are related to art because he's particularly interested in art activities. And this is one of the craft thing we did. This is a Pradham storybook actually. And he recreated the same scenario in his book. Yeah, these are some other artworks which we had during our library time. And this is one more library time activity we have done, getting a review about a particular book. Like what is the genre of that book? Is it a happy ending book? Is it a fantasy? Is it a tragedy? And what is the story about? Who are his favorite characters? And what is his opinion of the book? So such things, we have some simple questions and we allow him to give his opinions. This is another activity we do. And yes, after library time activities, the current affairs activities. So usually whatever that is happening around in the world, we try to keep him connected with that. So when this Olympics were happening, we tried to give a brief introduction about what it is, where is it started, and where is it happening now, and what is the scenario behind it. So a small fact file he has prepared regarding the Olympics information. And here you are seeing the pictures. So how many countries or how many sports are there? And what about India? How many categories Indian sports or sports persons were sponsored? So these are the different things. And we watched many videos about the Olympic ceremony and all. And what he liked, he dictated, and I have briefly noted down the things he observed. So this is one thing about current affairs we
watched
followed.
the opening ceremony together. He told us what he liked about it. Sit padha hai na, ne?
Combination.
Sorry, is someone asking anything?
No, I don't think so. We'll take questions a little later. If anybody has any questions, please type it in the chat box. We'll take them up later. Thank you. Go ahead, continue. Deep.
Okay, I'll continue. And then this is for the COVID thing, we did one cleanliness project. Like what are the cleanliness agents which help him to be clean and hygiene, like hand wash, hand sanitizer, and then the soap and shampoo, whatever it is, which helps him, nail cutter. And so this is one project we have undertaken. So it involves a little writing, the art thing, a small amount of craft work. And finally, his awareness about COVID. When we asked him, what do you understand about COVID? This is what he has written down. So a small human figure plus mask is correct approach. And a human figure plus virus is the wrong approach. This is what he expressed his opinion like. Okay, we are happy about this. And then this is one more growing up project which we have taken. This was a very most favorite of Ritvik actually, the yearly growth. We made an album out of it. And just we briefly wrote 2 points what he did in that year. Sorry, the pictures are mixed up, so you are getting the years all jumbled. So this is how we made the growing up project. And this is the most recent one which we have done last week. We recently started this STEM activities, the scientific, technical, and some engineering. No, don't take the terms too serious because they are age appropriate. So we ordered some STEM activity kits for him. And I'll just play this video. He assembled that thing. And it is a hydraulic missile launcher actually. So this is how we have actually assembled the whole of the launcher, and finally he played with it. It took almost 4 to 5 hours and he was very keenly involved in doing that work. And this is our latest project. And yes, this is the planetary model which he made for himself. Actually, this was his playtime. We didn't ask him to do this as well. He found the different fruits, lemons, balls, beach balls, whatever he found in the house. He tied everything and he made it by himself in his independent free time. So we were very happy that he's actually utilizing the approaches we are trying to adopt and employ in our life. And then, yes, let me come back to. So these are the different projects or activity based things which we have done so far in these 2 years. And then going forward, traveling is another important thing we have in our mind, because I strongly believe reading and traveling are the 2 best ways to develop inquisitiveness and curiosity in kids, and also they are the best ways of learning. We love traveling actually, but unfortunately our journey almost matched with the COVID thing and we couldn't do much traveling. But I still have done a lot. Like we used to jump off to what to say, some forest related or field related trips where we can have some alone time and we can keep close to nature. And what I observed is the kids actually calm down after a good amount of outing. So as we leave them in a very vast open spaces, after coming back home, their involvement or their attention span, everything was much better than other times. This is my personal experience with Ritvik. Because we usually take him to places like this. So such things where we find streams, rocks, big forest areas. Luckily, we have these places around our native place. So we take them. All these will be family visits. So we usually have nature trails, forest walks. So trekking kind of things. So all these things help us a lot in widening the mindset, in improving his attention span, in calming him down. When we leave kids in places like this and we allow them to run around to their heart content, it is actually bringing a change. You believe me, and you can try this as well. It really works for any kid, I believe. It brings a very good improvement in the kids' approach and mindset. So we never miss this nature trials. So we see places where it is less infective, so that nowadays the prevailing conditions are not very good. Instead of these parks and all artificial settings, I personally prefer natural things like forest, beach, such things. They are more beneficial compared to this. So this is what he asked for, a campfire. And this is on the top of a mountain, a small hill, I can say, near our place. And yes, here comes the next part. Practicality is another approach which we adopted in our homeschooling. Practicality in the sense, this is particularly with EVS concepts. Environmental science or science in general, we never go through books. Books are the last resort for us in learning. So wherever we want to teach him anything related to environmental science, we go to environments. So the photos which you are going to see now, these are all related to various professions. When we wanted to teach him professions, we actually undertook a long-term, a little bigger project. So this is how he visited a nearby construction site. And this is where we visited a nearby farm where we can have really see farmers, cow sheds and all these things. And then we went to a dam. And then, yes, you can see the farm activities. He's actually involved in them. Feeding the cows, doing some plowing activities, understanding what farmers actually do in the fields. This is a cotton field. And these are about dinosaurs, which we visited a museum. Planting trees, a painting activity. We found some place where construction and painting work is going on. And we tried to put him there for a few minutes, actually. He did some painting work there. And this is our visit to fire station. So he actually saw what is happening there. He saw the accessories, he wore them. He actually felt like it. And this is how we taught all the different kinds of professions. And we had visited a nearby hospital, come college, medical college, where my sister is studying. So he wanted to see what is the difference between a dentist and a doctor, actually. So we actually took him there and we showed him. A pharmacist, what is a chemist, and this is where the carpentry work is going on. So somehow we had the opportunity of visiting so many things to get a practical approach or practical view of what is happening in the environment. So this is about traveling and the practicality part, which I have shared with you just now. And coming to the last but not least, the academic aspects. So what are the different aspects in the academic part we have followed? The most important things are timetabling and scheduling. And we make timetables, but it's okay. According to his mood, we make changes to them. And scheduling, we usually make a checklist and follow the checklist. At least 4 of the next 4 works, we will make a note and he will be ticking the checklist, and going forward, he will add more works. And then, so this is how our calendar looks like. We'll make a calendar, we'll mark important things, whatever occasions or anything happening in that month, we will make note of them. And we will stick it somewhere convenient for Ritvik. And the choice of subjects and materials we use. So presently we are going with maths, English and environmental science. And recently we started teaching him Telugu, and Hindi is just added 2 weeks back. And we are actually planning to teach any foreign language, because I have studied in some scientific psychological articles, like kids brain will be more pro for learning new languages. So when you have crossed your teenage, your actual capacity to learn new language will be less compared to kids below 6 years of age. So we actually plan to introduce a foreign language as well. And the different materials we use, we never stick to a particular pencil and notebook kind of thing or a particular environment. So we use various things. We change them so that he never gets bored. He always feels enthusiastic what's going to happen in the class today. So we get a variety of materials, like one day we use chalk piece and a blackboard. One day we go to a whiteboard and marker. And sometime we go to a sandbox and draw with our finger. We even use slate and slate pencil or magnetic boards and different types of arts and craft supplies. And yes, for teaching different things, we even buy most of the board and card games, which you can find in Amazon or Flipkart, and the related videos and storybooks as well. So the list may look scary actually because I named a lot, but it is not that scary when it comes into practice. Because if you want to search for related videos in YouTube, you can actually search for the whole textbook at a time. The playlists are widely available nowadays. And if you spend a few minutes, the whole academic year's stuff, you can save it for your future purposes. And same way, when you start searching internet about a particular topic or theme, within 2 or 3 attempts, you will get familiar with what sites are reliable, what sites are providing good information, and you can stick on to them. Actually, these are not a very hard or very difficult thing which we can't do. So we can actually give it a try. And then, yes, music and the Sanskrit slokas is another important part of our uh, what to say, of our journey, because Sanskrit, it is proven that it helps a lot for memory improvement, and there is that rhythmical pattern memory development is there in reciting slokas. So we have actually we are learning some prayer slokas, and he is learning the basic Sankshepa Ramayana slokas nowadays. And yes, he Kalangana thing is there, and he has won a prize for reciting Kala Bhairava Ashtakam recently. And the art and craft things. So Ritvik is particularly interested in art and craft, but he loves to do it by himself. So I'll quickly present some of the art pieces which he has done for himself. So this is our craft wall actually. There are many more, but they were plucked off by Ritvik recently. So these are different craft things and art things which we have done recently. Sand, sand and salt thing, that is, he used glue to fix them. These are pista shells, and these are some of the rocks which we found near the river coast. So he did rock painting on them. Mask making, greeting card making. So this is our most recent one. We have done it yesterday only. So we ordered this kit in Amazon, and he made the teddy bear all by himself. And yes, these are the different art and craft things which we have done all through these days. And coming to the various creative and cognitive worksheets. So I particularly put a keen sense in making worksheets for Ritvik, because I try to make them more creative so that he will never get bored because of the writing thing. I think I don't have much time to share all of my worksheets. I'll quickly share a few things where I have used. I think you can see this is one of my blog article. I have shared some pictures in that. So I'll quickly scroll through them. So in teaching only one concept, how I used different approaches. For example, I was teaching additions to Ritvik. And so what are the different ways I presented every day a new kind of worksheet, how I tried. So this is a flip type of worksheet. This is on the board. Additions with the clothes pattern. And then additions with stationary items. And then this is also a flip kind of thing. Each problem can be flipped over. And this is maths in vehicles. So like this, for every concept, I try to be creative so that he will not get bored and he enjoys his academic time actually. And there are many more worksheets I wish to share, but I don't think time will permit me. I'll quickly wind off the presentation. Day outs and me times. So these are very important for parents because they cannot continuously day in and day out work with their kids. They need some time for themselves to refresh themselves, to relax themselves. So day outs are very important. Not only when a problem comes or when an emergency comes, we plan a day out. We actually take day outs periodically so that it will lighten our mood and we can have a relaxed day for that period. So, and me time, whatever we find relaxing for ourselves, we do those things in that time. So I give much importance to these two aspects. And yes, the last part, our future plans. Frankly, we didn't plan how long to continue like this. As I told you, our decisions depend upon the current circumstances and the prevailing conditions. So previously in December 2019, when Ritvik came out of therapy environment, we decided that we have to give extra care and love for him. We cannot just like that push him into another external environment. So we plan to keep him home, to work with him, to actually know what are his setbacks or achievements. And yes, going forward, we both loved our journey. Now Ritvik is like, yes, my mom is my teacher and I love this homeschooling. So even if any of our relatives or anybody asks, he will proudly say, I am homeschooling, home is my school, my mom is my teacher. So we feel happy about it. We feel proud about it. Actually, here I have to say a few words about my family as well. I'm very grateful for my parents, Indira and Prabhakar Reddy, and my grandfather, Bhaskar Reddy, for actually making me a person who I am now, because they have given me unlimited support in this journey. Whenever I feel a little lagging, so immediately they come to my rescue. They inspire me, they console me, they comfort me. So without them, this journey would not be so fruitful and successful, I can say that. So I'm very happy my grandfather and my parents are also in this session today. They are watching this, I believe. So thank you. And yes, if we feel it is needed to put him in a group environment, if he feels it, if we believe he needs some societal exposure, we will surely go for that as well. But we don't have any pros or cons or anything like a planning. So we are, as of now, we are going with the flow. And yes, thank you, Samyukta. I think that's the end of my presentation. And these two are the things where I'm sharing my views to the world. The blog is, I have named it Raising Ritvik. And this was one of my gifts on his 6th birthday. And then Facebook, I have opened an account in his name. There are two reasons behind doing this. One is when he grows old, he will have lots and lots of memories, how he and his parents worked. And also, I want the parents who are in need of inputs, who are in search of inputs, if at least one of them finds it useful, I'm very happy, more than happy. So these are the two reasons why I started these things. And yes, I think these two are the reason why I am here today. So I think my effort is not wasted. And yes, that's with my presentation. Thank you so much. I hope every one of you will have some little thing to take back from this session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Deepti. That was indeed amazing, and really hats off to your efforts. And it's definitely paid off. We can all see that in the kind of work and the kind of person Ritvik is growing up to be. And it was really wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your inputs today. Do we have any questions? We can quickly take a few. Really, I mean, you said that your own personality, you are inclined very spiritually, and you're interested in those aspects. I think it really reflects in the kind of work you're doing and the kind of parenting approach you have used. So really, thank you for sharing everything. So we have a question now from Geeta. She asks, how did you teach him abstract concepts?
I think the question needs a little more explanation. Abstract in the sense,
Geeta,
what are you actually
can you unmute? Can you unmute and elaborate on the question?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, abstract concepts in the sense few concepts we can show them practically. Abstract in the sense we cannot show them practically. It has to be understood like that only. It might be feelings, for example.
Like, can you give an example?
Reasoning things. Like if any questions which involves because, he has to reason. That sort of concepts.
Like because, why something happens.
Yeah.
Sorry, I think audio.
I mean, something, see, things that you can easily show and explain is something easy to teach. I think what she means is something that you cannot really show and explain, things like feelings, emotion. I find even time to be a very abstract concept sometimes. How do you explain time?
Yeah, time. Yeah.
Things like that. Have you tried teaching time?
Time. So time in the sense, we started with a very wide point of understanding, like morning, night. So that is very clear for him. When sun is there, that's morning. When sun is not there, when moon and stars he sees, that is night. Because this concept we taught him long back. So we started with that morning and night aspects, and then we started sorting out the activities we do in the morning and in the night. So we try giving him some odd one out or something like that, what activities he does in the morning and what activities he does in the night. And as he follows a schedule regarding his daily routine, he clearly identifies. So these are the things we do in the morning, in the early morning. These are the things we do at night. So that is how we differentiated it. And slowly we introduced time to him while doing the work. So we have a digital clock. So we'll show him. So the time is 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, our work is this. So in that way, we slowly added time into his life. And recently we started duration with him as well. So you have to do this work for this amount of time, or you can watch some movie for this much amount of time. So he's getting to understand the concept of time and duration nowadays. And usually whatever we teach, we will start with his play time, because anything should not be felt as imposing rules on him. So we usually start it with fun things or play things. So at 9 o'clock, your favorite movie is going to start. Or at 9 o'clock, you are going to have playtime. So we start with those things first. So then he will have a more interest in associating the new concept into his existing life. So we started time in that way. And then slowly it was made a part of his maths. worksheets as well. I think I made it clear.
Yeah, thank you, Deepti. That was good. So we have the next question from Preeti. She asks, what are the practical difficulties or limitations you faced with homeschooling?
Yes, practicality part, I can say the main thing is the flexibilities homeschooling provide. They give both positive and negative impact in my experience, I can say. Because as there is no one above you, you are the sole person who has to carry out everything. Nobody is going to question you. So you can decide it for yourself and your child. If the family is very supportive, you can actually decide things for everyone as well. So this is the time we set for these things. So let us all accommodate accordingly. But this part will have the negative impact as well. Because since nobody is there to supervise, so sometimes you feel sluggish, lazy, you don't want to follow your routines. So it's okay. That's what I have told. We take periodical day outs to avoid this aspect. Because if you are rigorous and if you do this scheduling for a considerable amount of time, anyway, you will be tired. So taking a break at that time is not a very good advice. So that is the main difficulty I have faced actually. And also facing your relatives or facing the society, because all people are not very open to homeschooling. So you should be dare enough to defend your decision. Otherwise, it will have that amount of impact on your mind, because people keep giving judgments, making comments. And so it may be positive, it may be negative. When it is positive, okay, we feel overwhelmed. But when they criticize or when they downgrade your decision, you must be in a stand to defend yourself. So if you get influenced with their words, so all the efforts which you have done will be affected, will go into a waste actually. So without a proper foundation, if you build up a castle, it will be gone, right? So apart from this, I don't find much difficulties. Just two things are the main driving the driving rules for me: hard work, consistency. Consistency in the sense maintaining that level of enthusiasm in you, and the patience and the hard work which you have to put in it. So don't make it above your limitation. Like if you are ready for this much amount, plan only for that much. So don't increase the level and don't burden yourself. So those things, if you keep in mind, I never felt it is very difficult actually.
So we have the next question from Deepti that she asks, as a parent, are there any particular time planning and management rules you have set that helps in homeschooling? I think you've partly answered it, saying that the kind of schedules you
Time
make.
planning in the sense, we actually keep 2 hours for academics daily. Not even daily, weekends we leave for his independent free time. So the weekdays we have 2 hours of academics, and rest of the time we go with the themes actually, whatever we are doing for that week or for that month. We use different art ideas, craft ideas, or library times, or reciting slokas, whatever I have shared with you. All those things will be a part of our daily routine. Or if he is particularly interested in a particular thing, he wants to do that for more amount of time, we leave it, we support it, and we go on. And that much, nothing more in time planning. And management rules, there are no hard bound rules for us, because we wanted him to be more familiar with the family, with the environment, surroundings, everything. So we have much flexibility and much relaxed rules actually. So nothing like this time we do this time we do this. No hard-bound rules like that.
I think that is what has made learning so much fun for him, because of not a bound restriction the way the schools have.
Yeah.
So
Yes. So
it is-
whatever it is, we try to make it related to his reality, real life. So it should not be like what he is studying in books is something separate from this world, and what he is experiencing in his daily life is something else. So when we are teaching something in academics, we make sure that the rest of the day will be filled somewhere, or else it will be intertwined with these concepts only. So because he's just in primary classes, it's not very difficult.
Right.
So till now, we are able to maintain that connectivity.
That's great. So actually, when it comes to reading, I had a question of my own with respect to my son. The moment I bring a book, he associates it as an academic exercise, which you only have to do like in school time, or so he doesn't relate that reading can also be fun for himself. So he just associates reading as something academic, which he doesn't want to do. Anything academic, kids don't want to do it. So how did you bring this so much interest in reading for him?
Actually, reading we encouraged since he was very young. From 3 years, about 3 years, he started with the books. It was like we made it one of our goals in the beginning, because I think you're also familiar with Sambhavam environment. Reading will happen each and every session. Every session, in the sense, for every 1 hour, he will get to read any small book. So in the beginning, the therapist or the parent used to read for him, and slowly we identified his area of interest, and we tried to bring out the books which he will like. So that's how we got him related to the books. And yes, it was not a very easy journey, because sometimes he used to like a book and he wants us to read aloud. And you believe me, some days I used to read 20 to 25 times the same book, and with the same intonation he will demand. I shouldn't even change the tone of reading. So even that happened. We need to patiently bring out that. And yes, that is one of the reason why we didn't force him on academics in the beginning. So slowly the academic learning through fun way, play way, and practical approaches. And the last thing we present him will be the workbook. So by then he will be most familiar with all the concepts. It will be just like a test or a revision for him at the end. So that is why he doesn't fear about academics much. It's like he demands, if I does this, what are you going to give me?
That's good. I think one of the key challenges about homeschooling is the lack of peer interaction, and a lack of social interaction with the same age group, the same which normally one gets when they go to a school. In a school, it's not just about the studying, but they also do friends, and so probably that I see that as one being a key challenge in homeschooling. So how do you plan to address that going forward?
Actually, that is a widely debated concept in homeschooling, socialization. Yes, it's true that we can't get in touch with peers in homeschooling because we cannot find a group of the same age. Might be there will be his cousins, brothers, sisters, family members will be there. Right. And yes, that is true that we cannot actually provide him the peer environment. But actually we can provide that through hobby classes. You can give that. through sports or other hobby classes, music related, instrumental, or any kind of things. But particularly, we did not have that opportunity as well because of COVID. We actually planned. We were about to join him in keyboard classes and gymnastics during February 2020. And by the time everyone is ready, this lockdown started. But these 2 years, I can say the COVID is more beneficial for Ritvik in particular.
Yes, I think the timing of your
we-
homeschooling has really worked in your favor because of the COVID. So
Yeah, we relocated to our native. So we vacated Bangalore and we came back to native. We are
see,
in
okay.
Andhra Pradesh now.
okay.
So this helped a lot to get in touch with his grandparents. And I have to particularly say, I have a very big family. So I have tens of cousins and their children, and so many. I have many mothers actually. So everybody treats me their daughter, and so in that way, he had a lot of socialization here. So he learned
Wonderful.
going to everyone. He learned answering to their questions. He learned interacting with them. So except the peer part, the other socialization went well these 2 years. It's just that
Yes.
family support was there, and so it happened really good.
That's great, Deepti. I think we've also overshot our time quite a bit, but it was such an interesting session that I'm sure
Actually-
all the parents definitely took a
Actually,
lot
I
of.
have many more pictures to share with you all. I have made a folder of creative worksheets, and I have a story behind each worksheet actually.
Oh, I'm sure we'll definitely try to have another session with you sometime where we can, delve deeper into what.
Sure.
Because what you've done really,
Let me
I think, is.
finish it off with a small funny incident.
Please go
If
ahead.
it is okay, I'll just take 2 more minutes. So it was like he lost his tooth recently. Not recently, actually last year. And he already read in one of the books about Tooth Fairy. So he was like, okay, I'm going to wrap it up and Tooth Fairy will come and it's going to give me my favorite storybook. So he wrote a letter, he put it under his pillow, and we took much pain in getting that book. And finally he got his book. And a few months later, he was seriously writing a letter. And then he put it under his pillow. Later that night, when we opened that letter, we were shocked to see what he wrote in that. He is like, "Dear Tooth Fairy, I need Lego's Titanic. Please take one of my tooth and get me that." He interpreted it like that. So
Really?
we later explained that, okay, that is not the case. So he
Wonderful,
is
Deepti.
cunning and smart in those ways.
Really, I must again congratulate you for all your effort. I mean, especially the community helpers, the way you have taught him that by actually taking him to the various places, that was indeed amazing. And also the art and craft and the coloring and relating all that to daily learning. Really a lot of takeaways from the session. I hope our parents will benefit from this. Many of our parents have asked for access to your digital library and how they can, see some of your books there.
Yeah,
So if you can
please find
share
a platform for that. Where can I share the link?
Do you have like just one link?
Or
that
where can
be
people
shared?
approach?
You can, we can share it in our Mitra for Life WhatsApp groups later. Once you can share it with me, we will share it with our parents.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
If you have just one link that can be shared, I'm
Yes,
sure
and
they
if
can
at
all
all
access.
anybody finds these worksheets interesting, they can anytime go into Ritvik's Facebook account, because whatever
Sure.
work we do, we have posted there.
Definitely the
So
two links
anybody
that you
can
shared for your blog and the
happily use
Facebook
it.
account. we will share that as well in our groups so they can,
Yeah,
access.
sure. I'll send the links in the Mitra group actually. Okay, sure.
Yeah. Or you can share it with me and we will share it in our groups. Either way.
Yeah, sure. No problem. I'll send it to you. You can do it
Yes.
accordingly.
So thank you so much, Deepti. I think we will wind up the session for today. It was indeed really amazing. I hope our parents have definitely got inspired to try out some of these things. And
Thank you very much, Samyukta.
a lot of takeaways indeed. So I'd really like to thank you for your valuable time and sharing your amazing journey with us. And also thank all the parents in the audience for attending today, and we look forward to seeing you again next Thursday in our Tea Time Chats. Thank you and have a good evening. So before I sign off, quickly like to tell you about the Youth Club session this Saturday, as I mentioned in the beginning. So we have an interesting Mitra Chef Hat session for youngsters, where Varun, one of our youngsters, will lead the group in a sandwich making session. So do join us for that. And thank you again, Deepti. And we hope to get in touch with you for more sessions.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Thank you all parents. Have a good evening.
Okay.